Hey, what's up? This is Ryan doing a pedal board overview. So this is my gigging board. I'm in 2 different cover bands and do my original music as well. So I need to have a lot of different sounds that I can reproduce. And I don't like the all-in-one digital units, just not my vibe there. So this is what I've got here. It is built on a pedal train Classic Pro. I built this board, soldered all the cables, put it all together. So let's go through it real quick. We start off with a Shure wireless pedal based unit. This thing is great. I also have a backup guitar plugged into this, and I have this in AB mode. So that enables me to have the tuner always on. And then the foot switch button there controls A versus B guitar, so the wireless or the wired guitar. I love having a tuner always on so I can see where I'm at while I'm playing, and then I just use volume pedal, which I have to have, to mute myself while I'm tuning between songs. So we go from the Shure into the C4. This thing doesn't get a lot of usage, but it's great for, sometimes when I have to do the odd stuff, right? Like some different filters and synth type stuff. Then we go into the drop pedal. I do a lot of E flat stuff and some C stuff with the different cover bands. So it's really helpful to just be able to click that pedal, and then there we are. Guitar switching needed. And then keeping it in the Digitech family, we go over to the whammy. This thing's great. It's big, but it's awesome, and I haven't seen a digital pedal that can really compete with what the sound is on this. And any of the Rage Against the Machine stuff, Tom Morello, whatever, you have to have that. I don't like tremolos on my guitars, and I block them off, so having the dive bomb there as well is a must-have. So then we go into the Morley wah. I like the step-on wahs. I don't like guessing if my wah is on or not with the toe button, so that's just kind of how I have to do it there. Then we go into the Morningstar ML10X. This thing is great. It's got MIDI and basically turns regular pedals into MIDI controllable pedals. This model supports 10 stereo, or 5 stereo, 10 mono. I'm not using nearly that many, but it's nice to have some headroom for future ads. But I'm basically using it for all my dirt pedals. So in no particular order, we've got the Rev G3. This thing is great. It's for any heavy stuff, all my metal stuff that I do. It's probably got that pedal on it. The Friedman BD-OD, this thing is probably on 70% of the time. This is my core distortion sound. This thing is really amazing. And then we've got the Exotic EP Booster. This is what I use for my solo boosts. Then JHS Prestige. This is for my clean sound. So I can kind of bring my clean tone up to the same levels as distortion and add a little bit of that JHS magic. Then we go into the Boss GT1000 Core. This is a great utility pedal for anything else that I might need. I've got 1 or 2 songs that I cover that have fuzz. Not worth putting a fuzz pedal on the board, so I can do things like that with it. All my modulation this does, so my delays, chorus, flangers. I use an octave pedal on 2 songs. This is great for that. Then we go into the Strymon Deco. It's got a really nice tape saturation. I use that on several songs. And then the double tracker is pretty cool. You can get some nice chorus, flange, or light delays out of that. This is where I first split from mono into stereo. And then we've got the TC Mimic Q. You really need 2 outputs on this or it just doesn't sound good. The second output will have the modulation where it's the random delay and random pitch. And it really does sound like either a second guitar or a double track. So I use this for some of the heavier stuff. For clean tones, it sounds a little bit too, I don't know if fake is the right word, but it's just not as natural as what you can really tell. But on the heavier stuff, right, you can't tell. It sounds awesome. Then I go into the stereo Boss volume pedal. Thing's built like a tank. And all of this is controlled by the Morningstar MC6 Pro. This thing is awesome. Everything I can program in there, anything I want to do with it. And then on the outside here, it's Pedalanics, I believe is the brand. I'll post that in the description. But this guy makes add-on switchers for existing pedal types, and he did a great job on this one. It looks, like it's made for this pedal, which it is. And it gives me 6 more buttons, which more buttons the better, right? Speaking of that, I needed a FS7, more buttons, just to do the page shifting on the MC6 Pro. So that's the whole board there. On the back panel here, we can see I've got the amp 2, amp 1 outputs. The input for the wired guitar is my backup. And then I'm not using them, but the channel switcher and the MIDI, they're connected to the MC6 Pro, so if I have an amp that has those and I want to use them, I can. And then lastly, one of my favorite things is a USB plug. And I added that because all these pedals that have USB on them, it was a pain to have to connect and disconnect cables, configure them one at a time, move to the next one. So instead, I've got all these pedals connected to a USB hub, and that hub goes to that one USB plug. So I can plug my laptop into that USB port and then edit all of the USB pedal configurations from one spot. So that makes things very fast for quick edits, which I love. So that's my board. It's heavy, it's massive, I love it. I take it to all the shows and really like the sound that I can get out of this. So thanks for watching.